What is up, people? Welcome back to another episode of our Celta Vigo career mode. This is episode number 2 today. I want to say a massive thank you to all of you out there who liked episode 1. We hit over 200 likes, which is sensational, so thank you so much for that. We're going to jump into today's episode, take a look at potential few new signings for the club, and then we'll hopefully embark on our first La Liga game of this Celta Vigo career mode. Let's do it. So I took a look at all of your comments from the previous episode, episode 1 of course, and I shortlisted some of the players I was interested in based on what you guys said. And we're just going to take a look at them and try and sign maybe a few of them today. But all in all, I don't think we'll be signing most of them. So thank you for your comments as always. And one of the areas we wanted to strengthen was defensively. So we've got a few defensive comments in there as well for players, of course, that are defenders. But if I didn't shortlist your player for any reason, then I apologise. But I'm going to go through a few of them, explain why they probably won't be joining the club, and just go through it really. So starting with Dodo, I like the look of him, but I don't think we need another right back. I think we're okay in that front. So for now, he's going to be not on my radar. Andres Christensen would have been brilliant to have at the club. The only problem is the Chelsea defender is rated very highly by Antonio Conte, and the chances are that he's going to be a little bit out of our price range. We've only got about £18 million to spend currently, and this man is going to be all of that budget if we wanted to get him in. So that's way too much for us to have at the club. So unfortunately, we've got to say goodbye to Christensen. Now, moving on to the 3 centre-backs that I am kind of interested in at the moment. Yannick Vestergaard, one of the suggestions. Ruben Diaz was another one. And this man is one I've added. Is it Jesus Vallejo of Real Madrid? I don't think we'll be able to sign the 20-year-old again. His release clause is a little bit too much, and I do believe that potentially Real Madrid will try and force us out of a move for this guy for the price range. But Vestergaard could be a good shout. The only problem I have with him, he's very slow. He's got about 40 pace, and as you know, the way I defend in FIFA, I defend by closing down, and if I get caught out of positions, I need a pacey defender that's going to be able to get back in time and stop the attack. So I don't think Vestergaard would work with the way I play the game. Ruben Diaz, however, could be a good shout. The Benfica man, he's 20 years old, could be one of the first signings we make. So in terms of our centre-backs, Diaz tops the list for me as the most wanted one out of the 3. In terms of the fullbacks, though, this is where I wanted to strengthen another left-back as well, joining the club. Riza Demisi of Real Betis, a Danish fullback. Can play left wing, of course, and left wing back, left back. Release clause of 9.7. I don't think we'll have to play 9.7 to get him at the club. He's around about 73 rated, I think, at the moment. And Mark Cucurella here, who I've tried out before in FIFA 17, of course, of Barcelona B. I've added him to the list. I don't think we'll make the signing of him. I think I probably want Riza over Mark, but they're both there as just kind of looking at them both to see what it's like. And again, Demisi was a suggestion, and I do like the look of him. But whether or not I'll be able to sign him is going to be a different matter. He's got that 4-star skill moves and the high attacking work rate. And his weak foot's not bad either. So he's a very good shout. In terms of Mark, though, he beats him overall, I'd say, So, of course, he's going to beat him. He's a better player. But for now, I think my priority is probably going to be a centre-back and a left-back. We know that FC Barcelona are renowned for having one of the best youth academy setups around in the world of football. And these are just a few of the ones I've added to it from FC Barcelona B. We've got Oriol Busquets. I don't know if he's any relation of Sergio Busquets, of course, who has bossed in Barcelona midfield for a number of years. Could be a very, very good player to get into the club. Of course, he's not the greatest player right now. But with a bit of training and a bit of work done to him, he could be good. He's got a release clause of £2.4 million, which is why I looked at this and thought, hang on a second, it may be worth taking a stab at Busquets, just to see if he can be a really good player in the future. Carlos Elena, one of the ones that a lot of people know about. Everybody likes this guy. He grows pretty nicely and he's quite cheap from the offset. Personally speaking, I've tried him before. I don't think he's the greatest for myself, the way I play. I feel like Busquets, I like my midfielders to be a little bit taller. I feel like Busquets will be the better of the 2 shouts here, especially consider the fact that Busquets has that release clause. So he can't really get priced out of a move if we just want to pay the release clause anyway. So there is that. Moving on to the attacking front, though, there was a shout for Kasper Dolberg. Could be good for us, but right now my priorities lie in improving defending. If I've got the cash to splash, then maybe we'll come back and look at him. But for now, he's not topping my list of priorities. And Alba Ruiz as well, another one of the Barcelona B players. A striker, he's around about 66 rated. Could be quite good, 17 years old. If he had 4-star weak foot, it would be even better. But once again, he has a release clause. I apologize for me speaking just a load in the episode so far, but I wanted to kind of give you guys my understanding as to why I did this with the shortlist and who I've left in there. For now, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to wait for some reports to come back, some scout reports, see how much we're going to have to pay for each player before I start making some offers. So we're going to go into the game against West Ham. I'm going to sim this one. It is the semi-finals. If we get to the final, then maybe I'll play it, and in that way, we'll see if we get enough money in order to improve the squad even further. But West Ham is the opponents. The semi-final game coming up. We are technically at home, so hopefully we'll have that advantage to us as well. If you can see, there's a bright light here, isn't there? My window is right here, so I apologize in advance if the lighting's not great. I knew it wasn't going to be, but we've taken a 1-1 draw so far at half-time. Johnny and Masuaku, 2 fullbacks with the goals thus far. Gomez gives us the lead, though, 2-1, and it looks like we might be playing Fenerbahce if we do get through to this final, which we are going to reach the final of the pre-season tour. So maybe I'll play this now, get some more money in, and then we can look to use that even further on. Here we are then, the pre-season tour final. Celta Vigo will take on Fenerbahce for this one. The side I've named, it's a little bit changed around. We've got Emre Moore in there instead of Gomez, as we've got Aspas playing up front today in a more advanced role. I've also brought off Raj, and we brought in Lobotka for the midfield as well due to a few fitness issues. And alongside that, swapped out one of our centre-backs as well, making that change. So Fenerbahce against Celta Vigo. We played, what's his now, our second game as actual playing with them. Aspas leads the line, so we'll see if he can do that job for us as well. We are underway. I did ask you guys as well in the comments how I say Vas or Was, but there was 2 different ways that people gave me. So for now, I'm going to call him Daniel because that's his first name, so it makes it a lot easier for everyone involved. But let's get underway and see if we can bring home the pre-season tour trophy and the extra funding that comes with it as well. Lovely ball from Sisto. Hernandez sees the run in the middle. Vas is there! And unfortunately, we don't lead. This is Hugo Malo. Finds its way to Lobotka. He will lay it off to Hernandez, who finds the man over Johnny on this left-hand side. Right now, it's been quite contested in the middle of the park. Not really much space to work with, but Aspas will get a little bit of time here. Finds Sisto, who cuts inside and still going and still going. Brilliant from Sisto. Gotta be. How have I messed that up so bad? I don't know how we're not leading here. What a run from Pion Sisto. And genuinely, I thought that was going to be 1-0. The finish, though, was not there. And here goes Giuliano up the other end for Fenerbahce. Here he goes. Can he get the right cut back in towards the box? Soldado. Johnny did ever so well with the header away from Roberto Soldado, who leads the line for Fenerbahce today. How on earth we're not already leading here, I do not know. The 1-2 with Aspas and Sisto set us up, and we didn't take the chance. And that really shows the dominance that we had in that first half. 74% of that possession. And yet, we haven't really done a lot with it. Only 1 shot on target coming from Pion Sisto as we hit it straight towards the goalkeeper. So, definitely need to improve in that aspect of it in the second half. But here it comes, the second half. If it remains a level at the full 90 minutes, it will be penalties to separate the 2 sides. And then, of course, confirm a winner from this pre-season tour. If we lose it, it's not the end of the world. You know, it's meaningless to myself. All it is a little bit extra millions, but it's just nice to be able to get the experience with a team, you know. That's why I'm playing these games, to kind of get used to the way we play and stuff. But yeah, first half, not really too great. Maybe thinking about a change of formation if we haven't really found too much with this one. Hernandez towards Lobotka. Looks for Aspas. He finds him as well. Here is Iago Aspas. Aspas is shot! Oh, he's found his way in! I don't know how on earth that is the goal that separates us here. But that is what that man on your screen can do. And that is why he most likely will be the star man of this series. Aspas with the opener here in 54 minutes. What a strike it was. Does it take a deflection though? That's my question. Because honestly, I didn't think this one was going to go in. It's through the legs of the defender. But does it take a deflection? That's the question mark. It didn't look like it did. And Aspas will be credited with the goal itself. Keeper doesn't get near it, and that is the opener in this final of the pre-season tour. And it's that man who scores it for us. Get in there. Searching ball from our opponents, and they win the header as well. Oh my goodness me. What on earth was that? Aspas, anything he can do, they can do better. What a sensational strike it is to give them an advantage and a way back in this game. It's all square again, and I have no words for that goal we've just conceded. It was a searching, hopeful ball. It's Johnny who loses the initial header, but that is sensational from their number 17. We are now back at all square. There's nothing Ruben Blanco can do against that. That is just a wonderfully hit effort. A little bit disappointed in Johnny for losing the initial header, though, that led up to that one. But after that, it was just sheer quality and class that beats us. 1-1 again. We're heading for penalties if it remains the same after the next 13 minutes. Hang on a second, because Aspas might be in to make it 2-1. Aspas is short, and Kameni beats it away. Corner ball for us. The angle was very, very tight there for Iago Aspas. I probably should have looked to maybe square it. But no, he chose to... Oh, Emery Moore, what's that touch from you, mate? Why is his touch so poor? And that's a long searching ball again. We're going to hopefully win this one back. Malo does well enough to get it. But, yeah, why on earth was the touch so bad from Emery Moore? Valbuena now looking for one. And that's Ruben Blanco with a vital stop. Another long shot this time from Valbuena. Was on target, and it did have to get saved by a goalkeeper. The corner whipped in. Not in the 90th minute, please, lads. Clear it away. Not really dealt with. It's going to be a goal kick at least, though, for us. And that will probably take us into penalties. What will be the first time in this Celta Vigo time. Johnny up towards wait, Sisto? No, never mind. It's going to be penalty kicks by the look of this, guys. Unless... Uh-oh. Oh, my goodness me. Off the woodwork. And that, my friends, should have been Fenerbahce winning the game in the 90th minute. But it is going to be penalties. It's Aspas up first for us. Top right, maybe. Let's see. Has he scored? Yes, he has. It wasn't top right, but he scores it at least. What can Ruben Blanco do for us? Can he be the hero we need him to be in between the sticks? Fenerbahce step up. Ruben Blanco saves it. Get in, you beauty. Pion Sisto now to take the latest spot kick for Celta Vigo, and he scores as well to the bottom right corner. Blanco now poising his enemy, saying, go to that position. Which way you going, mate? Fenerbahce to step up, and Blanco stops it again. This guy is sensational. It's now Daniel to step up for us. Is he going to score? Yes, he is. What a penalty that is. 3-1. If Blanco saves this, it is all over. Fenerbahce, which way is he going? Blanco saves it. A 3-0 penalty win. Ruben Blanco with 3 of the saves, and we win the pre-season tour. Went about it in the hard way, though, needing penalties to do it, but at the end of the day, as long as you get it done, that's all that matters. Get in there. An extra few million quid as well would be nice to add to the kitty, just to make a couple more signings, but there's the fans. Enjoy this moment, because I'm sure we're going to have a few more like it in this series. A little bit of disappointing news as well. I apologise to you guys in the comments that wanted Theo Bongonda to stay at the club and be on the bench, of course. We accepted an offer from Hanover last episode, and I couldn't stop them continuing to agree terms with him. The only thing we had to hope was that if he'd stop agreeing terms with them and couldn't quite do it, he would still be a Celta Vigo player. So I apologise to those of you in the comments that wanted him to stay, but at least we've got an extra little bit of money to work with now to potentially bring in an even better player as well in his place. Borja Iglesias sold as well, one of the Spanish strikers we bought back from loan. I was always going to sell him. We get an extra £3 million for that as well. Few scout reports back on a few players that I want to see about as well. So we'll sort those out in a moment. And I'll make a few offers for a few players right now. So we've got a final scout report back on Ruben Dias and Vestergaard. Our man says that we should potentially offer in the region of £11 million to £16 million for Ruben Dias. He's 76 rated. I'm not going to pay the I'm going to begin negotiations. I'm not going to pay his active release clause. I don't think he's worth £20 million. Potentially, if we can get him for around maybe 12 million, that's what I'd be kind of happy with. Yo, he's worth 9.5, so I'm going to offer them probably 10.5 just to see if I can make it happen. We have around about £34 million to use after a few sales have gone through. 10.5 is an offer I'm prepared to pay. 14.1 is what they want. You see, looking at that and the way it is, I personally don't think he's worth that £14.1 million. I really don't. I feel like we could get a player of similar quality for cheaper. 12.5 is more than I said I wanted to pay. 12? Okay. 12.5 is what we've agreed the deal on. £3 million worth more than he is. And he's on not much more that of a weekly wage. He's only on £9 a week. So, yeah, we could get him on a cheap wage here as well. That might be the best case scenario. Let's see what he wants. So we're going important first team player because we want to bring him in and we want to play him. 5-year contract. I'm more than happy to give him that as well. Disregard the release clause. Okay, they want one. £29 million. Can we agree on 35? Just because I don't want him having a really good season and then somebody coming up to snap him. you know what I mean? Okay, well, they want that £29 million release clause, so I think it's fair. We'll do it. But in terms of the wage, it is so cheap for Ruben Dias. Look at that for a wage. There we go. New player into the club. Ruben Dias joins. He's our first signing as a Celta Vigo manager that's not a free agent, because, of course, we did sign a free agent in the last one, and it was that man, Basogog. But Ruben Dias joins the club, and welcome Ruben Dias. 6'2" Portuguese centre-back. You know we've got a good deal on our hands here. £12.5 million paid. He's got a decent potential, though, and he could fit right into the side. Look at that. He goes right in there alongside Cabral. What a signing I think that's going to be. Another one of the players I'm very interested in is this man, Oriol Busquets, of course. We spoke about him briefly before. I'm going to try and begin negotiations with FC Barcelona B for his signature. I don't want to offer any more in the region of about £1.2, £1.3 million, though. I want to try and get him on the cheap. So my first offer will be £1 million, just to see if they have an acceptance of that. They're fair. So I get him for cheaper than I would have maybe looked at previously. There we go. Decent little thing that. All we need to do is negotiate a contract which is cheap and can keep him here, and we'll be able to hopefully have a really good Spanish prospect on our hands for the near future. Only 18 years of age. He wants prospect, 4 years. Happy to give him that. He's going to want a release clause. He wants a release clause of 2.85. That's a little bit lower than I was maybe hoping. But we'll accept that for now. Again, though, cheap as chips. And all we have to do is renew his contract, make him have a higher release clause, and we've already got a good player in our hands. So we sign another player. It's the second signing of this window. Oriol Busquets becomes an Celta Vigo player. And for now, that's where we'll end it. We've still got a little bit more money left, and I want to see a few more scout reports come back before I decide to make any more signatures. Because we do have 2 new players into the side, I'm going to throw them in our, training up system to try and get them better as well. So we're going to throw Ruben Dias in this on defending. We'll also throw Oriol Busquets on some passing drills. Once Blanco gets to a good rating, I'm happy to take him out and give the last 2 spots to maybe Busquets or somebody else that matter. Probably maybe Dias and maybe Gomez as well, because we've still got another player in the club to grow as well. But yeah, so that's the training setup that I'm using currently. We've got Gomez on 1, Blanco on 2, Oriol Busquets on 1, and Diaz on the other one. So hoping for a little bit of growth out of quite a few players there. Transfer offer for one of our fringe players, Brais Mendes. 3.1 million to Fiorentina. I'm going to accept that. He's probably got a decent potential. He's only 20 years of age, but I don't see myself long-term playing with a winger formation, and that's the position he plays in. A load of scout reports back, so I'm going to be able to see all of these players that I had shortlisted and see which ones I want to make an offer for now. So let's take a look at quite a few of these guys. So who am I really looking at potentially bringing in? So we've got Demisi here. He's 73 rated, could come in and be a backup left back for us. Might be able to get him for around about £3 million if we're lucky. Vestergaard, of course. We've got Elena as well. He's 74 rated now, but he's worth a hell of a lot of money. We got Mark as well. You see, this is my point. Like, we could bring in Demisi and try and get him for £3 million, but we could have a guaranteed, left back who's guaranteed growth for cheaper. But the question is, do I want to do that? What's Salvo Ruiz saying, actually? Because I didn't check this guy before. 75 finishing for a 17-year-old is very good, actually. Might have to look into his signature, potentially, maybe. How much is he worth? £1.3 million. Albo Ruiz from FC Barcelona B. Could be a good shout. I'm going to make an offer, though, for Risa Demisi here. I apologise if I'm saying his name wrong completely. You know what I'm like with names. Not very good at all. But he's worth about £4.2 million. I'm going to try and maybe offer... Let's go 4. See if they're accepting of £4 million for him. So Betis came back. Said they weren't prepared to take that £4 million offer. Said they wanted 6.3 with a sell-on fee. So we're going to bump it up to 5.2. That's around about the region that I'd be considering. It's £1 million more than his current worth. And I think that might be... There we go. So we've got a fair offer for him. What this does mean is if we sign him, we'll be able to let the other left back, our backup one, go. So then that way we don't have to have too many at the club. That's the way we can do this. So he's on about 15 grand a week currently. So we'll see if he's going to accept rotation, if he wants more than that. that's what he's hoping for. Decent. 4-year contract. Again, pretty happy to allow that to happen. Disregard the release clause. Well, he wants one, so everybody wants a release clause, and I don't like release clause in this game. But he wants 20 grand a week, signing bonus and appearances as well. We'll go for it. Just accept that. So another backup left back done. I've strengthened the 2 positions that I wanted, the centre back and the left back, and we still have £15 million left as well to work with. So what this does mean, as I said, is that we can let go of Mazan. See you later, I guess, because now we've got Demisi. And Valencia want Ruben Blanco, but that one is never going to happen. We're keeping hold of our Spaniard goalkeeper. Don't want to let him go. We want to keep him at the club because he has a bright future ahead of him. More training as well to be done to the players we've currently got in the training setup. So we'll hopefully get some growth out of these as well. Maybe Blanco will go up in overall. No, not quite, but getting closer to it. Busquets has gone up in overall though. So he has joined us and already grown up by 1 to a 67 rated midfielder. Maybe by the end of the season, he might be able to get involved in some games. Gonna buy us future star as well from the catalogue. Spice up the series ever so slightly. Try and get somebody into the club who's going to be a bright, bright young man. So that is what we've done. Scout being dispatched. We wait back for that one to come. We've also got some youth staff as well, setting up their scouting networks as well from the last episode. We've got one in Spain and one in Canada, of course. The Canada one is looking for an attacker, though. So we're only going to get attacking-minded players from Canada for that one. But yeah, Scout Future Star now in. We'll see what it brings back. And there is the first growth from Ruben Blanco. 78 rated now. Joint with our current number 1, or sorry, the one who was number 1 before we obviously took over, and Blanco is now our number 1. We've also finally got our scout reports back. Let's see what we've got in the form of young players coming into our scout and our youth system. Anybody worth signing? No. Okay, well, not exactly the greatest first, month of scouts. Anybody from Canada? Not really. Not great, was it? Ooh, before I forget, I also forgot to mention, I asked you guys about the free agents as well that we were talking about previously in the last episode. And it seems like a lot of you didn't want us to sign the free agents. So I'm happy to not do that. So I didn't sign Renato Augusto. I took him off the list. And I also took off, who was the other one? Oh, sorry, Benjamin. He was on there, but he actually signed for Dortmund. So didn't really matter for that one. Transfer offer here for Sergio from Leicester. Of course, Blanco being our number 1 here, I'm tempted to negotiate a deal potentially for Sergio. See if we can get a little bit more money in for him. I'd quite happily take maybe, in the region of about, I think 10 million is too much. Let's say £9 million. It's £3 million more than they offered. They're only willing to pay 6. Okay, well, let's reject that straight up then. If you're not even willing to give some leeway, no point doing business. Growth out of Diaz now as well, 77 rated. He's probably going to become quite quickly an 80 rated defender, so that's good as well to see. Still growing as well for Busquets. Overall, I'm just looking at this potentially to try and get our players up a little bit more before we start trying to use our team and trying to see who our best team is. Ooh, this one is interesting because back of my mind, I looked at Johnny and part of me thought maybe he's not good enough. But then if the right offer came in for him, I would look to sell. But on the other side of that, he can also play right back. So he can be quite versatile. We could always sell him, bring in Mark, the left back from FC Barcelona B, and use the young man, the Danish left back we signed from Betis, as our number 1 left back. That's the way we could do this. If the right offer is here from Valencia, I'm happy to let Johnny go. Let's counter for 16. 13 is their final offer. Oh my goodness me. I'm so tempted on this one. But do we do it or do we not? Because it's quite tough, you see. Because as I said, we could just use the backup left back we've already got as our starting one and then bring in Cucurella as our backup. But he's a decent player, is Johnny. That's my only issue. This is such a hard decision to make. I'm going to stall it for now. Maybe think about this. Okay, so I think my mind is made up now. Because I was on about doing this, wasn't I, to obviously let Johnny go. It looks like Betis, they're looking for a replacement after we obviously signed that fullback from them. They've gone ahead and asked if they can sign Mark Cucurella there for £1.9 million. So that pretty much makes up my mind about Johnny. He'll be staying at Celta Vigo. On the top of that, though, Real Madrid have been approached by Eibar as part of a loan deal for Jesus Vallejo. So I might have to look at potentially maybe bringing him in on loan with a potential maybe future signing fee. Is that possible? Let's have a look. So he's on £79,000 a week. For a 78 rated defender, nah, you're all right. I mean, Diaz is going to be there pretty much soon, so I don't really see the point in that one. So yeah, I don't really see that. I'm not even going to bother. Now it's time to get our La Liga journey underway. Our debut game here of La Liga will come at home against Real Sociedad. We're going to play this one, then I'll end the episode off there to allow you guys more time to make some suggestions for signings, because we do have £15 million left in the budget after the signings we've made in today's episode. So if you do want to leave any suggestions for any players that you want to see join us here at Celta Vigo, maybe they've already been suggested and you want to suggest it again, the likes of Kasper Dolberg maybe. That might be another one that you guys want to see at the club, and you maybe just want to see us sign him. If that's the case, leave it in the comments below. But for now, we're going to make our debut in Spain, in La Liga, with this Celta Vigo team, and hopefully start it off with a win. Here we are then, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure if I'll get copyrighted for this, so I don't really want to risk it. So I'm going to skip through the menus until I know for sure. We'll check out the Real Sociedad team like this instead. That is it on your screen. Januzaj, of course, formerly of Manchester United. Elamendi at the midfield. He's a decent midfielder. And, of course, Llorente as well at the back. We know about him. Decent keeper in as well in Rulli. So this might be quite tough for our first game in Spain. But we are at home. We do have the home advantage. And we are underway for our first game in La Liga. The new era at Celta Vigo begins today. And we'll kick it off with a win, hopefully. Oh, lovely play. Gomez sending through Hernandez. And we take the lead already inside 4 minutes. It's just as simple as that. Lovely, lovely football. We get through as well. And it's the assist for Gomez, but a finish from Pablo Hernandez. Already leading here inside the first couple of moments. And the fans, I can assure you, are in for a special season this season. I'm confident in these guys. Lovely play from Gomez, as I said. And the finish from Hernandez, well, composed, cool, easy as you like. Nothing that the Real Sociedad keeper can do against it. And that is the reason why we have the lead in the first chance of this game. Get in. Oh, this is bad. Wami's in here towards the area. Sociedad looking for their first chance. Wami's cut back and it's 1-1. Ruben Diaz on the side trying to stop it going in, but unfortunately our defending wasn't crisp and wasn't good enough. And we have conceded here, and Sociedad are back on level terms. I've got to be closer than that. That's a wake-up call, that one. I said our defending was going to be probably the problem that we'd face this season. That's what I meant to say. And unfortunately, it is the case. Should have closed it down. I don't know why. I allowed them to get into the box like that. That was poor from myself. Raj. Gomez. Overlapping Ron. Can he find his man? Yes, he can. It's Pablo Hernandez. It should have been 2-1. Exactly the same setup for our opener. This time the finish from Pablo is not good enough. It's wide of that post. But again, Gomez finding him with a through ball. All we needed to do is apply the finish, and we couldn't do it. The one header is won. It will find its way towards Gomez, who has got the ball. Not the turn yet, though. Backwards towards Hernandez. Here is Daniel Vaz. Looking for Iago Aspas. Has he got it? Yes, he has. Held onto it as well. Raj, Malo, back towards Raj. We just need to find that opening that we need right now, and we've given it away with Was. Half-time goes in our debut game here in La Liga, and at the moment it is all square at 1 apiece for both sides. I'm going to actually make a change. I think I'm going to put Aspas up top, and I'm going to bring on Emre Moore for a bit of pace out on that wing and have Aspas lead the line. As far as it is at the moment, though, I'm not too confident. I don't know what it is. Since we played in that preseason tour, we played really well in that. We gelled as a team very well, but you could say we should be leading. That Hernandez chance that I put wide earlier on could obviously have gone in, and if that had have gone in, it might be in a different story, but we are a little bit leaky at the back, and that's not something I like. I know Diaz, it's his first game, so maybe he's just getting used to playing with a new team, but even so, we need to make sure we're better defensively. And Januzaj, that's a good turn. Here is Januzaj looking towards the middle of the box, and we've dealt with it okay enough at the moment, and it will be cleared away. Decent. More. Vas. Sisto's made the run. Can he find him? Yes, he can. Beyond Sisto's cross, looking towards Aspas. It's going to get punched away, and it finds its way towards the Celta Vigo man in Lobotka. He finds Pablo Hernandez, who beats his man Hernandez in the box. Hernandez, it's 2-1 Celta Vigo. It is Pablo Hernandez again with a finish. Should have put us 2-1 up earlier on. This time he makes no mistake with this one. got to say, we did make a change. Obviously, Emre Moore and Lobotka coming on. And it was Lobotka who's actually set up Pablo Hernandez to obviously score the goal. So we lost Gomez, who set up Hernandez for the first one, but we brought on a substitute who did exactly the same for the second, and we're back in front here. Oh, that's a great cross from Januzaj. Somehow dealt with it. I don't know how on earth that hasn't been in back of the net there. To be honest, today, our star man, Iago Aspas, hasn't really done a lot, but is that because he's been man-marked, possibly? Obviously, the Sociedad don't want him on the ball. That's a great ball through for Emre Moore. Might be able to dink the keeper. Emre Moore is 3-1 Celta Vigo. What was I saying moments ago about Aspas doing nothing at all? Well, that ball was perfect, and the finish from Emre Moore. This is why I love this little gem in FIFA 17. He's back in FIFA 18 in one of our series, and he chips the keeper to make it 3-1. Lovely finish. Lovely, lovely finish. We needed that third goal to kill the game off here today, and that's what we've got. Sociedad, they've been their moments, but ultimately we have been the better side, and deservedly so, are 3-1 in front now. Hernandez, great turn. On course for a hat-trick here. Pablo Hernandez looking for it, potentially inches away from that bottom corner. The Chilean could have had a hat-trick if that would have gone in. He might have had one earlier on if he'd have scored earlier as well, but oh, he's so close from the Chilean, and I genuinely thought he had got his hat-trick there. We're approaching the end of the game here, and it looks like it's going to be that 3-1 win we were talking about before. As Sisto unfortunately gives it away, but wins it straight back. Good play, actually, from him. Can we get a good cutback? Not quite, but that should be it now, ref. There we go. 3-1 win. It's a winning start to our Celta Vigo competitive campaign. And we are looking decent, I've got to say, right? Other than that earlier moment that we had where we allowed them in far too easily. I thought Ruben Diaz played pretty well. You know, he had a difficult man to deal with. Willian Jose is a difficult striker to play against. Puts himself about and he can cause problems. Wanmi was good for them, but ultimately it was Pablo Hernandez who stole the show today. Emre Moore coming off the bench to make sure the points were secured. Decent debut for Diaz, not too bad, but as I said, it was all about that man, Pablo Hernandez. Man of the match performance, and that will end today's episode off. 3 points, a victory, gone pretty well. As I said earlier, if you've got any suggestions for any of the players that you want to see us bring in, maybe with that last little bit of money we've got left, it's going to be around about £14 million, I think, after we swap some of it out into the wage budget. Yeah, probably about 15 million quid, let's call it. If you've got any suggestions for that kind of price range, let me know down in the comments below. Obviously, I want to make sure that you all have your say as well. We had an offer from Arsenal for Cabral, which I accepted, but this time around I'm going to reject it from Atletico. Don't want to see him playing in the same league as us if I had to do that. So if I'm going to let him go, I want it to be to a different club anyway. But that's it for today's episode. We made a few signings. We got off to winning ways. We did everything that we planned in this episode. If you did enjoy it, a like would be greatly appreciated. As always, thank you for your continued support on the channel. If you're not already subscribed and you want to, subscribe to make sure you don't miss any more videos and you like what you see, it's down below. Notification bell alongside it as well, so you never miss an upload because you know what YouTube sub boxes are like. But other than that, guys, I will see you all again at 4 PM tomorrow for yet another video. Catch you all then. Adios.